It's your favorite Big Year host, Ingrid, here with the Week 16 recap of Ingrid and Ethan's 2024 Big Year. This week began with a drive from Hays, Kansas to Kansas City, Missouri. All right, as you can see from the sign, we are crossing from Kansas into Missouri in a car that basically every other day needs to be washed, and look at the windshield now because it's covered in bugs. This is state number 26 on Ethan and Ingrid's 2024 Big Year. We made an attempt along the way to find some American golden plovers that had been reported at a rural airport, but apparently they departed before we got there. From Kansas City, we moved next to Springfield, Illinois. Our trip here got off to an unexpected start when Ethan, who rarely makes a mistake with directions, took us south for 90 minutes instead of east for 90 minutes in search of more American golden plovers. Unfortunately, neither of us realized this until we were at the reported location.
You really cannot make a mistake here. And as you know, we don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
This turned into a happy accident as we found over 400 golden plovers as well as 2 other first-of-the-year shorebirds in what ended up being a terrific birding location. History quiz. What well-known person in U.S. history was born in Springfield, Illinois? Abraham Lincoln, of course. As much as we wished we had the time to explore the Lincoln-related sites here, we could not stay long enough. Our time was getting short, and there were birds we needed to find in Chicago. This is one of the challenges of a big year. You go to so many interesting places, and there is so much you might want to see, but you just can't. Okay, we are now crossing the Mississippi River, the mighty Mississippi.
Oh, man river, that old man river, he must know something.
We were in Illinois to chase 2 European birds that have established breeding colonies in the land of Lincoln. The first was the Eurasian tree sparrow. We went to a lovely nature preserve by a cemetery where spring was well underway. As we were searching for the sparrow, we ran into Paula Asham. Sorry, Paula, if I mispronounced your name. A birder we had met in Texas. To our good fortune, she lives in the area and told us exactly where to find Eurasian tree sparrows at a nearby location. We hurried over there and bingo, within minutes, we found 2 of these beautiful birds. Next, we headed for Chicago, which is one of very few places in the country where European goldfinches can be found. If we were going to add this bird to our 2024 list, we had to find it today, as Chicago is not on any of our remaining itineraries for the year. In the United States, European goldfinches are kept as pets and have a propensity to escape from their cages. In Chicago and southeastern Wisconsin, so many of these beautiful birds have flown the coop that they have become countable in this tiny geographical area. We were prepared to spend several hours visiting a variety of locations in the city in search of them, but we found them at our first stop. It didn't hurt that these birds were at an office park, and this was a Sunday. No people noise or traffic noise. We knew that they sound like goldfinches, so when we heard a familiar-sounding goldfinch-like song, we knew we were getting warm. It took a bit of tracking, but we were able to photograph one as it rested. All right, as the music lyrics are saying, good old Willie Nelson, we are on the road again, leaving South Bend, Indiana. Pretty town for what we could see of it, particularly the Notre Dame campus, which we saw a bit of last night. Today we are headed toward Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Long haul drive today with very little, if any, birding, but sometimes this is what we have to do. After many days of birding, Monday was a long haul travel day for us. Thus, our binoculars and cameras got a rest while we made the 9-hour push from South Bend, Indiana, to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We did try to locate a cerulean warbler conveniently reported near our hotel a few days ago, but we did not find him. Thus began a relatively bad streak for your favorite big year couple as we struck out on a number of birds the next day. Driving, searching, and dipping can be oh so frustrating. For those of you unfamiliar with birding lingo, the term dipped refers to failing to find a bird and comes from the British expression dip out when talking about having missed an opportunity. Finally, we pulled into a children's park north of Boston, hoping to end our bad luck with a blue grosbeak. Blue grosbeaks appear occasionally in New England during migration, but not in big numbers. For some reason, perhaps due to recent storms, there have been several reports across coastal New England over the past few days. One handsome male has been visiting this park in Boston to much excitement from the birding community. Several birders have even been so helpful as to post very specific instructions as to where to find him. Off we went, and within moments, there he was posing for us. Amazing how seeing a single bird can brighten one's mood. On April 17th, Ethan and I awoke in a Boston hotel, excited as this was our final day of our 81-day road trip. Our home in Maine was only 150 minutes away, but first we had to get the blue-winged warbler at an Audubon sanctuary in Marblehead. When we arrived, there were several birders there, but no one had seen the warbler. The hope was that as it warmed up, the warbler would start stirring. In the meantime, I decided to check out some thrushes a little farther down. These hermit thrushes led me down another path, where I soon spotted a bright yellow warbler scratching around in some leaf litter looking for his breakfast. Lo and behold, it was the blue-winged warbler. I called out to Ethan and got him on the bird. As we told the other birders about it, they mentioned that a scarlet tanager was at the pond. We hurried over and after a bit of searching found this striking fellow high in a tree. Our final stop was a cemetery in Ipswich, where we had hoped to find a prothonotary warbler. While that was another dip, we did find a Baltimore oriole. Spring really is underway in New England. On January 28th, we began our big year road trip. Several weeks, 14,000 miles, and 28 states later, we have identified 479 birds for the year. While we are very happy with our results, we look forward to adding many more birds over the coming weeks and miles. We invite you to follow our journey at bigyearbirding.com. Happy birding!